you guys want any of these spots to get a build guide for it, if this video can get 100 likes, I will definitely do a part 2 to this video where I'll do a build guide for every one of these rat holes. Well, damn it. Disclosure, I never thought that video would get 100 likes that fast, or even necessarily get 100 likes. But since we did, here's gonna be the build guide for all those rat holes. Disclaimer, I'm not the builder of any squad. I'm not the OCD guy that's gonna make sure everything's squared. I'm like the let's throw it down, let's make it fucking work, and let's go for it, guys. So hey, this is what you guys asked for, and let's not waste any more of your time and jump straight into it. I'm Fatty, by the way, y'all. Oh hey, y'all. So number 5, I'm going to go through all these ones just in the same order as the video. So if you guys want to know a little bit more about the location or anything like that, just go check out that video and then come back to this one. So with any of the builds I do, I always kind of start with a couple of very initial things, right? I always figure out where the turret's going to be, a turret wall, different stuff like that, just to start off. And then I also want to put down like where the main floor crafting kind of type area is going to be, and then where the generators as well is going to go. So for a little rat hole like this that's super vertical, starting with the bottom layer of the floor is always kind of the most important thing, because then from there you're going to put all these like different top layers right above it to come down. And if you don't have a good foundational support below, it's just really hard to get up above, because then if you have to do any kind of ceilings, it's just not going to have any ground support. So always start lower and then kind of work your way up. That's just the general piece of advice that I've come to learn from this. So small rat holes like this too, I always start at the edge and try to place the foundation on like a level surface that's halfway in between the different like height levels of the ground that you're going to do, and then just try to place it a little bit like right in the middle of that, so when they kind of expand out, right, some are going to be sticking up higher of the ground, some are lower, but when they all place, they'll all have like the ground support. So then from there, I just kind of tuck the generator back in this little corner, just trying to keep it out of line of sight and try to keep it from anybody rocket rushing. You always have to think when you build in one of these spots is like, how would you raid it, right? And for this one, you can't uncryo anything in here. The turrets will shoot it. You can't really walk up anything to soak any of the turrets in here. So really, it's just going to be rocket runners. So just keeping the turret away from that. From there, then next is usually the generator, or the industrial forge. I like to kind of figure out where I'm going to tuck that one as well, just because it does take up a lot of light and just kind of gives off a lot of light, so it can give away a hidden base location, especially for a rat hole, pretty easy. So that's one that I always like to figure out as well. And just kind of like I'm doing on this one in single player, I do have it where it's collisions off, because I'm building right now in servers that have collision off. So, you know, I always practice building in a spot in single player like the way I'd want to build it, or the conditions I'm playing on the server, right? I don't play official. I just don't have the time for it. No judgments to you. You know, everyone plays the game differently. No judgments to me, because I don't. So, you know, whatever. If you guys want an official build guide or something like that, let me know and I can put on those standards. But for the most part, I think my audience isn't official people, at least the people that subscribe consistently. So, you know what? Catering to you guys. Well, not to you, but to all the official players that get all, oh, you're not official, blah, 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 blah. So there, from here, the key thing is to put turrets in a position where they're gonna be able to see the crouch, like the dropped off point, fairly easy, but not so close that you can rocket run it, right? Because 1 or 2 rockets down here, even if it's not a direct hit, will start to break these turrets fairly easy. So you can see I got a couple turrets down here, not as many as I would definitely like to have had, but it's enough to at least prefabricate a better base, right? If you're just starting off, like, you could get this going on day 1 without really having too much troubles or anything like that. So it makes it a fairly good spot for something like that, but it's definitely not going to be like the end spot. So this next one's going to encompass 3 and 4. They were basically the same spot, minus this like little big rock spot in the middle, right? So this one's actually going to be location 4 on that list, but location 3 is very similar with just less rock in it. Now for this one, I always like to start with the wall. Now the point of this wall, again, is always thinking about how people can like stego rocket rush it, Dianoticus rush, just general kind of stuff like that. So I like to set up the wall far enough back that you'll have some room to shoot, but not that they can't throw up carbs and C4, or they can't do other stuff along that nature, just to really give yourself some protection. Now, something I did forget to do in this video, so I'm just gonna throw it out here right away, is that against that very ledge, after you get your turret wall up, you are gonna want to put up some like fence post foundations or fence posts, just to prevent things from coming up and getting snagged up there and like staying up there just to soak your turrets. If you can put up a little bit of a wall of those where your turrets can still shoot through it, but that will prevent anything from just getting tossed up there and just being able to drain your turrets for non-stop, will really make this just annoying. So they'll have to put a rider up there and try to rocket to blow that up. And if you're on a server that has a raid warning, that'll be really nice because you'll get that heads up. But other than that, it just really does slow the whole process down, because then, you know, sometimes they'll die as they're trying to blow that up, or just, you know, anything that makes rating you take that much longer is always like the #1 thing you want to do. So again, that's just one thing I wanted to say out there before I actually forgot to build it. Now, also, you'll notice in this video, my Discord's going a little crazy. I had to do a lot of jump cuts just because I was having to go back because it was just nuts. So this is a good time to remind you, if you guys haven't already, go join my Discord. It's a lot of fun. A lot of crazy stuff happens there. A lot of times on the weekends when I'm working late on night stuff, we just kind of go over there, have a couple drinks, and have a good time. So definitely come do that as well. It's a really, really great time. And then for this one, you got to think about where to place those turrets. I like this turret location, or the gen location I put way back there, but it doesn't reach all the way over here, so you might have to do a multi one if you really wanted to hit so far back there. But there are different options to kind of help cover this up as well. And then as you see, you can put all these turrets there, and it really, I mean, you can have quite a bit of turrets up here, which really does make this one fairly defensible. It's not going to be an end game location by any means, but you can get really, really well done here. And there's a place down below that you can do a little bit of breeding and stuff. It's not the greatest, but you can uncryo stuff and then recryo them, you know. You do what you have to do. Now with this generator, it's not bad, but like I said, it doesn't quite reach. So you could put one kind of over here somewhere to help power the rest of them. This is Gen 2, right? So element's really not like a big deal. So having multiple generators, even on something smaller, isn't gonna make or break anything for this base design. Some turret ASMR right there. So with this one, I'm not going to build out behind it fully. This one is kind of a rat hole, right? So it really depends how you want to put everything down. You know, you can put as much stuff as you really need to. You can put definitely a couple forges and stuff. It's not huge. This one by no means is going to be as giant, but it's pretty well hidden. It's just really hard to raid, right? So if you can get this one just set up, you'll be fine. Now with the second row of turrets, you can see some of them are fine. They're not clipping to the ceiling. I did find the ones that were clipping at all into the ceilings were not hitting any of the dinosaurs I tested for soaking. So make sure that even like the very tops of them aren't, but if you put the wall like I did, you should be fine. Another thing you could do, as you kind of see I'm doing here, is sink the foundations. You could sink down the wall a little bit to give yourself a little bit more clearance, which would help with that whole top row. I didn't do in this one because I'm trying to get through this, and this video is already going to hit the 10-minute mark, and the YouTube overlords already tell me that 10 minutes is as much as like people really like, so going above 10 minutes isn't going to really be the best idea. So anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This one's going to be a part 2, so the other ones for this base location I'm going to put on the second part of the video, and those are going to be the better spots anyways. So if you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe so you guys can see those. Join my Discord. It's a lot of fun. I am starting a little small business. It's going to be Ripped Ico. I'll show some of the social media links and stuff. We're going to be getting that going off in mid-August, so I'm going to start showing some more of that as it gets a little bit closer. We're working on some fun art designs as well, so definitely follow that one, and thank you always for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.